The epic and unbeatable at Scrabble. The nerds with attitude.
I'ma start the recording.
No, I'm gonna mute myself. Don't worry. I'm only gonna mute when I talk.
I mean, you good. You good.
Alright.
So I was trying to pose a question to the boys, and it's basically I was watching this show. I was listening to a podcast called Trash Taste. I'm pretty sure you wonderful, beautiful listener, you probably know what this is. It's a very popular. It's three anime YouTubers basically. They're all three white dudes, but that's beside the point. But they were talking about in one of their latest episodes, towards the end part, they was talking about spoilers and spoiler culture, mainly because of Attack on Titan, and how they were talking about how Twitter and everything. And I posed the question: do spoilers matter to you, or do spoilers bother you, and everything like that? I personally think, for like this Twitter thing, I personally think if there's something that you really want to watch, want to see, don't avoid social media. It's not that hard. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about it. It's not that hard. I personally, spoilers don't bother me at the slightest. For me, I can get something spoiled. You can tell me the whole movie, and it won't ruin my viewing of it or anything like that. It won't ruin how I would feel about it, or like if something big happened, like some kind of big moment happened, and that was spoiled to me, I'm still gonna react the same.
Well, for the Twitter thing, people, they can mute the words. Like,
yeah, but like the thing about the Twitter thing is there's some things you can't just anticipate, because from what they were talking about, like there are some, like, yeah, I muted like all the character names and everything, but there was one word that got through the cracks, and they still saw it, and to make it so bad, it was trending. And when it's trending, you actually can see under what is the description is of what it was trending, and when it says that's basically a spoiler.
Oh man, all them words I muted, they never slip through the cracks for me. I don't know. I guess I mute a lot of words, so I don't know.
I mean, I am not on social media at all, so I don't even know how Twitter works. But I personally just don't. I personally just feel like you just don't get on the internet if there's something you really want to watch, because especially if you're watching something week to week, for instance. Let's say Jujutsu Kaisen, for instance, all its purposes, or even Game of Thrones. How when Game of Thrones was a thing, if you're watching it week to week, and I feel like it's fair for someone to talk about something they want to talk about, especially if they just saw it with other people, and I feel like it's on the person. It's your fault if you see the spoiler. That's how I just feel like. It's your fault if you're deliberate, even if you're deliberately looking for it, looking up stuff, and you see it.
Yeah.
Then yeah, sure. If you're deliberately looking for it, then that's on you. But like if you scrolling down on your feed and then you see it, then I still would say that's on you. But like y'all might have a different opinion on that. Like how y'all feel about spoilers?
I don't like spoilers. I hate spoilers. If I'm really into something, I hate spoilers.
Yeah. I'm the same way.
I'd rather just experience it for myself. Because I never forget, I was playing BioShock Infinite, my first playthrough, and then one of my brother's friends came into the room, and he just spoiled it for me right then and there. And then when I got to the ending, I was like, yeah, I knew this was going to happen. It's just, I don't know. I just don't like spoilers. I'd rather just experience it for myself, and that's it.
I think
I'm not a fan of spoilers, but at the same time, I spoil plenty of stuff for myself. So, and like the whole like Walt say, like stay away from social media. That's impossible for me. It's impossible. It's literally impossible. And I can say that a lot of times I will get like little mild spoilers because of things that I see just scrolling. But it don't really bother me too much. Now, games, that's a whole different situation. Nobody want a game spoiled. It's personal to you.
I know it. Upsetted me. Don't spoil video games, people.
Isaac?
Say, like, one of the biggest spoiler things that happened to me was around the time Infinity War was coming out. I'm not even joking. I avoided social media for like weeks, and then the day of, I was getting ready to go see it, and I was looking on YouTube for like a Game Grumps video or something like that, and the first thing that popped up was somebody took a video recording of the scene where Loki dies. I was like, God, oh, so close.
He dies in the beginning of the movie, though.
That's right at the beginning of the movie. Bad. And I was like, well, that's just, and it's not like it was a huge spoiler. Like, you know, I knew a bunch of people were gonna die in that movie. It's just a matter of who it was gonna be. But I think the main thing is to me, spoilers matter. But even if I get spoiled about something and go see it and it still impacts me the way it would have if I hadn't seen the spoiler, that means the movie's just good, or like the video game is just good, and so on and so forth. But at the same time, I try my best to avoid them. There's certain, like with Godzilla vs. Kong, because I'm gonna keep bringing this up until this is out, and even after the Mechagodzilla is not really a spoiler. He was in the first trailer, at least to me.
Eagle-eyed viewers, he was in the first
trailer. And not to mention, they just released like another TV spot where they just flat out show him, and I was like, all right, I'm not watching it, because one thing I already know, I know he's in the movie, but another thing is I don't know what he looks like. I want to save a design. I haven't even seen the toys. That's how good I've been about
the toys.
That's how good I've been about staying away from this stuff. I don't want to see what he looks like, but the main spoiler of this movie that I'm trying to stay away from is who wins this fight. That's the big thing, because I don't care. I know Mechagodzilla is going to lose by the end of this, or maybe he wins. I don't know. Controversial. But one of these two guys are going to win this fight, and that's what I don't want to know. I want to see it live, and I want to react to it live, you know, all that kind of stuff.
So my thing is like my thing of my like philosophy or my mindset for the spoiler thing right here. If whatever thing you spoiled, like for instance, Endgame, like, and also spoiler warning, we gonna spoil a lot of shit in this. But like Endgame, when you find out that Cap picks up the hammer, that point right there, if you knew that was going to happen, which a lot of people wanted it to happen, if you knew that was going to happen, and when you sat there and saw it and it still didn't invoke anything, like, because all you hear is you hear it or you read it for somebody, you're not watching it, or you're not experiencing the media that whatever was spoiled for you. You're not watching it. And if once you sit down and watch it or play this game, and if whatever that moment that was spoiled for you, if that moment still doesn't invoke something on you while you're watching or playing it, then I feel like that was poorly directed. It did well in general.
Yeah.
That's how I feel, but I don't know how y'all guys would feel about something like that.
I completely agree.
I just don't want to be spoiled at all. If it's something I don't care about, yeah, go ahead. Just tell me what it is. But if it's something I care about, don't spoil it for me. Shut up.
I mean, well, let me pose this question. How long does something need to be out, or you need to not seen it or anything? How long does someone has to wait for it to be okay to spoil something for you?
2 weeks.
I was gonna say one.
I think 2 weeks is fair. Because he was like, yo, I haven't seen it yet. It's
after 2 weeks, if you really care, you should be done seeing it. You're right. Yeah.
It took 2 weeks. But if it's like a month later, yo, I ain't seen it yet. You don't want to see it. Shut up. You would have been sorry.
Look, guess what? Hey, guess what? He's fucking he's Luke Skywalker's father. You didn't.
Yeah, like that's like almost like a 30-year-old movie. And there's still people today who haven't seen it, and they're like, I didn't know. Don't spoil. I didn't know that. Or for instance, I personally haven't seen all of Sixth Sense, but I know at the end Bruce Willis is dead at the end. I know the twist.
Wait a minute. What?
Dang, really?
For real?
Thanks, Walter, man. You suck, bro.
But that's a prime example there. Do you think stuff that is so popular that's so ingrained in pop culture and everything, do you think that get a pass? For even like in-game for instance, do you think that would get a pass? That should get a pass for even if someone hasn't seen it? Like that's almost like a 2-3-year-old movie. Someone still ain't seen it, and do you think that person still has the right to like, don't spoil it for me?
I mean,
nah, you did, buddy.
I mean,
I think it's a person to person.
Yeah, like,
I just want to see like a golden rule type thing. Like for video games, for instance. What about video games, for instance? Like Majora's Mask, like Link, Majora's Mask.
Wow.
You know you're dead that entire time. You're in hell, right? Nope, nobody knows that. Okay.
Is that for real?
Well, it's an allegory for like hell. Okay, that's a bad example.
Yeah,
Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII. Aerith dies.
What? She does? No. Come on,
real.
Bro.
At the end,
that
was my waifu. She is my waifu.
Or in the middle of the disc swap.
Y'all were talking about when, because I was like, who was it? Somebody said, "Oh, were you living under a rock because you've never played Final Fantasy VII before?" Yeah, I hadn't played it until like the remake, right? But I know Aerith dies because I've seen Advent Children.
But that's a perfect thing. That's a perfect thing. Like. That's a pretty popular one. It's a popular game, and that's a pretty popular moment in pop culture in general. So like, if you ain't played this 15-year-old, almost 30-year-old game, and you find out before you played it, Aerith dies, would that really hamper that? Would that ruin your gaming experience?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna tell you, if you waited this long, you are not invested in the story that deeply.
Or I even would give you a more recent one about Last of Us 2, where Joel dies. Like that was
literally did get spoiled for me, but guess what? It didn't change the game at all.
Besides it being a whole different can of worms, like it being all controversial as it was. Did that ruin that? You finding that out? Did that ruin your experience with Last of Us Part 2?
Nope.
I think the only difference it made, if I had seen it before, because before the game came out, a friend of mine told me all about it.
Yeah.
So I knew Joel was gonna die. I knew that was gonna happen. I knew he was gonna get his head bashed in, with Abby playing a game of Top Golf. Sorry, that's mean.
She's playing hot shots golf.
I think I would have been sadder during that part if I didn't know. But instead, I was only angry during that part. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because but when I heard about it, I was like, really? They just did my man Joel like that? And then that was the other thing. I didn't know it was going to happen so early in the game. I thought it was going to happen, somewhere towards the end. I thought we were going to be with Joel for most of the time. And I think the placement of that moment was something that wasn't spoiled for me, which also helped.
Okay. Let me ask you this about, because I know Noah said like video games is one of the most important, like, and Jimmy agreed on that. Let me ask you this about video games. When you play not Last of Us, when you play BioShock, was it like recent, or like BioShock just happened, just came out, or was it years after BioShock?
I played the original BioShock after I played BioShock Infinite and BioShock 2.
I don't know. I know I didn't.
When your home, when that dude walked in your house, Noah, and was like, "Oh, this happens at the end." Did BioShock just recently come out, or was it years after BioShock?
I want to say it had to be. I want to say it was like just a few months later, because I wanted to play the first two first. That's when BioShock Infinite was about to come out. And I played the first two first because I was like, yeah, if it's a trilogy, I'm just gonna play the first two, and that's what I did. And I played probably 3 months later, 4 months later.
So with that, like what we had just said about that, and then him coming in saying that after the game been out for at least about a year, since if you were saying BioShock Infinite been out for at least, do you still fault Buddy, or is that on you?
Yeah, because video games are different, man. Because I gotta sit down and play. And that's my hours in.
And guess what? That man walked into that man's house. He knew that man was playing it. That was spiteful. I would have took that as an act of aggression. I was like, hey, you trying to ruin this for me.
I was so upset, man. I was so I think video games is different because you gotta invest your actual a movie. You can wait 2 hours. But some video games take 10 hours, 20 hours to complete.
You don't know where that man at in the game. Don't say no man.
Yeah. You got to put more time in video games. Especially if you want to collect all the stuff.
I don't know.
You collecting this stuff.
I don't know. Because I would say Spider-Man, PS4 Spider-Man. I was spoiled for the reveal of Aunt May dying, and that still hit me hard once I got to that point in the game. I already knew she was going to die, but when it happened, and because I also would say my and that happens at the end of the game after you beat Doc Ock and everything like that, and that was already an emotional roller coaster as is. But when it happened, in my mindset, how my mindset works is, if this is why spoilers don't really bother me. Once you tell me something, especially about something or something, and I'm going to watch it, it is erased from my head, and I normally forget about it.
Oh no, I can't do that.
I personally forget about it. I forget about it. So when it happened, when it happened, I was like, oh no, that almost brought a tear to my eye. And then when we was talking about this, I was like, oh wait, I was spoiled on that. I totally forgot about that. I even would say about the Batman Arkham VR, because I love the Arkham series. Do y'all care about if I spoil that at the end?
Oh wait, Arkham VR? No, don't spoil that.
Okay.
No, I got the VR headset, baby.
But the ending was spoiled for me in there, even though I think it's a stupid ending. But the ending was spoiled for me, and I still didn't care. It was still a garbage game, but it didn't really hamper. It didn't hurt my playthrough thing. That's why
I ain't gonna lie. You can sell it because I ain't gonna lie. I'm probably not gonna get it no time soon. So it's not like I care.
Well, the whole thing you're figuring out, because Nightwing's dead, and you're trying to figure out who killed Nightwing and all that junk. And it links back to Arkham Knight, back when in the middle of Arkham Knight, when you find those 4 people who had the Joker blood, and then you find out the 5th person was Batman too, so he's becoming a Joker. Long story short, Batman became Joker, and he's the one who killed Nightwing. You find that out. You look into this mirror and everything, and you see yourself Jokerized and all that junk. You start laughing.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that.
Yeah. It's real stupid because it contradicts
I hate everything about
that. Yeah, it contradicts Arkham Knight. That's why I think it was a dream sequence thing, if I remember correctly. But it contradicts Arkham Knight because he heals himself of the bad Joker blood in Arkham Knight. But you know, it is what it is.
Stupid.
But I don't know.
Told me that.
I personally just but spoilers don't really bother me. And if it's something I really want to watch or really want to play, I can avoid it. I have enough determination or patience to avoid not get on social media or something like that and play it myself. I will ask you this: in video games, do y'all, when the first time you play the game, do you have to have a walkthrough?
What do you mean a walkthrough? Like a YouTube video up or something?
Not necessarily a YouTube video. Well, let's go back to the old days when you needed you had to buy the walkthrough, the strategy guide.
Oh no! I go to my games blind and just find everything.
I've literally never had a strategy guide.
Me neither. I never brought one either. Strategy guides.
Because those are spoilers.
Yeah, that's total spoiler. That's damn near.
Yeah, that's true.
Might as well just tell me what the code is. Just break the whole code down to me.
But I mean, that at the end of the day, do you care? I'll finish this with, at the end of the day, do you think people, because there are those assholes where they specifically go out to ruin somebody's day.
No, that's that fuck shit.
Do you think spoilers matter, Noah?
Yes.
And give me a time limit on video games. That's a no for you. But like on just media in general, a book, movie, anime, cartoon, whatnot, how long do you think it should be until someone's spoiled before it's allowed, it's worthy to be spoiled or whatnot?
I'll say 2 weeks, because if you really want to see it, you'll go see it. You'll watch it.
Okay. Jimmy, do spoilers matter?
I wanted to say a week, but I agree with Noah. 2 weeks is fair. A week is a little strict. A week is me saying everybody got free weekends and expendable money. That's not how the life goes. But 2 weeks, you could came up with that money for that ticket or something, whatever it is.
Do spoilers matter though?
They matter.
In
they matter.
Video games and visual media, book or whatever.
Yeah, don't spoil it for me, man. Especially if you know that I'm like even like, because I'll be behind on some stuff, and you don't know what nobody is, so don't bring stuff up. You doing, oh, my fault, bro. Like, why are you even talking about it? You just heard me say I started playing this game.
And Isaac, do spoilers matter?
Yeah, I would say they do.
And just in general, or for all things, or?
I think for video games most of all, but for movies movies and shows, there should be like a conversation starter where somebody doesn't say, hey, did you see this and this? They should be like, so where are you in this? Or have you watched it? They need to start like normalizing asking if you've seen this thing, and do you care, are you going to? And then
what's the time limit? Give me a time limit on how long somebody should wait before they blurt out whatever.
I'd have to go with the other two and say 2 weeks. That seems to be about a good grace period for me. So
All right. Well, tell us in the comments down below what you feel like about how you feel about spoilers and spoil culture and all that jazz, and how long is it not frowned upon? How long you think it should be safe to go ahead and spoil something or whatnot? And remember, at the end of Romeo and Juliet, they die.
Oh, no, for real, bro. Both of them. They got shot.
Both of them. I always remember to show your attitude, you wonderful, beautiful nerd.